Tonight, locals welcome a proposed pump and hydro facility in the state's mid-north, and two bikeheads turn their grief into action to raise money for cancer research.
This is Southern Cross News with Abby Donaldson.
Good evening. Rise Renewables has had a positive response to the proposed pumped hydro and solar project at Beruta in the state's mid-north. The project is set to create around 500 local jobs. It's set to deliver renewable energy on demand.
It's up to 300 megawatts of solar PV adjacent to the pump hydro scheme, which makes use of the existing Beruta reservoir, and will see the construction of an upper reservoir.
A public consultation meeting proved to be a success, with the majority of residents in favour of the project.
It's not going to do anything with our property apart from storing water and recycling water onto the property and generating power for South Australia.
Having been through a very dry period just at present, it is probably going to drought-proof our place a little bit.
It's set to boost the local economy by creating 500 jobs, with the majority of products locally sourced.
So a significant amount of the overall investment will be sourced locally in terms of local business, construction, and all the normal accommodation and other services that you'd expect.
Rise Renewables hopes to have the plans set in stone soon.
We would hope to submit and achieve final approvals for the project later this calendar year.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News. Police are investigating a fatal crash at Undalia near Rhynie in the state's mid-north. A car and a truck collided on the Horrocks Highway just after 8 o'clock this morning. Sadly, the driver and sole occupant of the car, a 53-year-old Turingi man, died at the scene. The truck driver wasn't injured. Meantime, police are questioning a man following an aggravated robbery at a servo in Kadina this morning. It's alleged a man threatened staff at a Francis Terrace petrol station and made off with cash. No one was physically injured in the ordeal. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Motorists and Giles MP Eddie Hughes are demanding answers about the safety of overtaking lanes between Whyalla and Port Augusta. Despite assurances issues were fixed, locals say the solution has created more problems.
When Brett Johnson travelled between Port Augusta and Whyalla last Saturday, he was amazed at the state of the road. At the new multi-million-dollar overtaking lanes, he says there's serious safety issues.
A pretty deep lip of 75 to 50 mil deep, and yeah, not very good road surface.
These pictures show a groove between lanes where cars and motorcyclists cross. It comes a fortnight after issues which were reported by us had reportedly been addressed. Mr. Johnson says it could cause injuries or death.
Just throws the bike out of balance and just sends it off into wherever the lip's going. That's where the bike goes. You've got no control over it whatsoever.
Eddie Hughes is after answers. The Labor MP, who was in government when commissioned, says he'd been assured it'd been fixed.
It needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed as a matter of urgency and a proper job.
Mr. Johnson isn't interested in the politicking. He wants it fixed before it's too late.
The overtaken lanes were supposed to be for a safety thing, and they've put our lives at detriment, simple as that.
Transport Minister Stefan Cannell was approached for comment. John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Port Pirie Regional Council is one of the first councils in the area to allow trucks as big as 36 metres to travel on rural roads. It means local roads will be safer with fewer road trains on the move. Following a lengthy investigation, Council has opened up rural roads for road train access.
Open up around 400 kilometres of our road network to 30 metre and 36.5 metre road trains.
Farmers can now access nearly every paddock within Council's district.
If it's gazetted for, we don't have to have a permit. So any truck, a contractor could just drive in off the highway, picking up livestock or hay.
It means more products can be transported from farm to silo in a shorter amount of time. And with the larger truckloads, it means there'll be fewer road trains travelling on our highways and dirt roads, making our roads safer.
1/3 of the movements that we had before, so the less trucks on the road at a slower speed. So in the city we're only allowed to do 40 kilometres an hour. On dirt roads it's at 60 kilometres an hour, and highways it's 90, so we're slower.
Farmers from across the region have welcomed the move, saying it improves livestock well-being and grain movement efficiency. Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Farmers are being urged to think proactively about their safety practices in a bid to reduce high incident rates. It's all part of Farm Safety Week, as officials say the number of fatal incidents on farms is too high.
As a farmer for nearly 40 years, John Carey knows firsthand the many dangers he faces in his work.
Overhead power lines, chemicals, dealing with livestock. Animals are an unknown quantity as to which way they're going to move. We have a lot of machinery.
This week aims to make farmers more aware of these safety issues.
We must purchase things and operate things within their perimeters of safety.
Farm safe officials say the number of fatal incidents on farms is too high.
68 people died on farm last year, 2017, and 9 of those were children.
The cause of these incidents can be due to accidents or negligence. Simple tools like a safety checklist can go a long way towards reducing incidents, and they're urging farmers to use this week to reflect on their own practices.
The whole point of National Farm Safety Week is to get farmers and their employees and their families thinking about the risks involved before they embark on whatever activity it might be.
Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
Master planning is now underway for a collaborative tourism project on the Eyre Peninsula to boost the experience of camping. The Eyes on Eyre Peninsula project seeks to boost regional tourism in the eyes of those seeking to explore our coastline. A lengthy audit of the coast's infrastructure and camping capabilities has been completed to understand how nature-based tourism can be developed.
The project looks at everything from camping nodes to signage to coastal access, and also identifies the visitor behaviour across the region. So we're looking at how we take a consumer through the region, give them a consistent experience.
Tourism Minister David Ridgway labelled the project as a standout during his recent regional tour. Still to come tonight, we meet a rescue kitten in Port Lincoln who may be one of the region's luckiest cats. A 41-year-old Port Pirie man has been arrested and charged after he allegedly stole from the local recycling yard. Police were patrolling the business around 1:20 Thursday morning when they spotted him. It's alleged he had stolen a number of items, including bicycles, bike spare parts and scrap metal. He has been remanded in custody. It's a trauma no parent should ever have to endure, losing 2 of their children to cancer. But 2 bikeheads have turned their grief into action by riding around Australia to raise money for cancer research.
Revving the engine of this Harley Davidson has been a daily ritual for Joy and David. And after an amazing 3 months on the road, they're on the home stretch. The couple embarked on the lengthy ride after losing 2 of their sons to cancer.
It hasn't been easy talking about it. We've struggled.
But after only a short time into the 16,000 kilometre trip, the couple realised the journey was about much more than their own personal story.
We're not alone in this. You know, there's hundreds and thousands of people who are touched by cancer in some way.
Port Augusta was the last stop of their trip, with a local fundraiser last night raising money towards their $57,000 target. 57 being the combined age of both their sons, with all the proceeds going towards the couple's chosen charities.
The funds are really going to help us create more awareness about bowel cancer.
The two say the outpouring of support has been overwhelming.
The generosity of people and the ability for them to just give us what they had in their pocket has been amazing.
Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
Workers at the Silverton Wind Farm took part in a major fundraiser for Lifeline Broken Hill, with organisers overwhelmed by the amount of support they've received.
Despite the chilly conditions, everyone working on the Silverton wind farm had warm hearts this morning.
We live here now in Broken Hill, so whatever we can do to make life easy and contribute to the community is what we're about, yes.
Dozens of generous workers gathered at the wind farm compound today for a fundraising auction. Everyone opened up their wallets, with the money going to an important cause. The fundraiser was organised by CatCon, Lifeline and supported by the One Life Foundation, which aims to create awareness for suicide prevention and mental health issues that come with the fly-in, fly-out industry.
We live in a world where we're working amongst men, and it's not very, it's unmanly to talk about your feelings. To be able to sit down and be able to check on someone and to ask, are you okay? Might just change someone's perspective or their perception.
The auction capped off a tireless fundraising campaign with over $18,000 being raised.
It is an amount that is going to really change lives. It's going to save lives. It's going right back into the Broken Hill community through Lifeline.
I thought I was cutting a couple of onions up there this morning. I was a little bit overwhelmed.
Mr. Simmons says it doesn't take much to look after your mate and do a check-up from the neck up. Patrick Ryanke, Southern Cross News.
Whyala's Quilt Guild is celebrating its 30th anniversary this weekend with an exhibit. 100 quilts from 30 people will be on display at Whyala Town Primary. Experts will also be on hand for people who have questions or those looking to take it up. Entry costs $5 with funds going to Heartbeat, a local charity. A rescue kitten discovered at a warehouse in Port Lincoln may be one of the region's luckiest cats. The feline was found with a rare disability, but has captured the heart of a local vet nurse.
It's been a fairy tale story for little kitten Forrest, finding her forever home.
I had a call from a member of the public who had said that he'd seen a little kitten in his warehouse that seemed to have some issues with its legs, or a couple of broken legs.
It turns out Forrest was born with a rare congenital musculoskeletal disability with a fused spine and deformed legs, leaving her with a slim chance for a normal life. That was until a local vet centre employee discovered her charm.
I sort of walked past when she was first being examined, and I looked at her and I could see that she was purring and happy and super affectionate. I thought, what's going on here? This cat's got legs going everywhere.
And she couldn't help but fall in love and has since adopted her.
I just fell in love with her straight away. She is adapting really, really well. We've got little stairs so that she can get onto the couch. She struggles with some things like getting into the litter tray and that type of thing, but we can work around that, I reckon.
Well, it's been a remarkable story for young Forrest here, finding her home with Tiana, and the local RSPCA always welcomes any extra donations to help find forever homes for other pets in need. Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
Stay with us. After the break, we'll have all the region's footy tips.
And we're in for a sunny weekend. I'll have all the local weather details soon.
The next generation of basketball stars were on show in Whyala today. They attended a coaching clinic where they were given tips by some of the best in the business.
The next generation starts here. 100 of Wyala's best young basketballers were put through their paces this morning. Kevin Brooks was the man in charge, with the current 36ers assistant coach teaching them lessons in sport and life.
Through basketball, we're trying to teach, obviously, basketball skills, but life skills, how to be punctual, how to be social.
Kevin won an NBL championship in 1999 and was the grand final MVP. All ages and skill levels were catered for, with a mix of offense and defense drills. Mr. Brooks says the most important thing for today was for the kids to enjoy the sport.
Play a game properly, and you have a good feel for the skills that are needed. The game is more fun that way.
With over 1,000 members, Whyala basketball is booming. The league hopes today's clinic will inspire the next big star.
Really good to have coaches of this standard come down to the country area and help those kids learn.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Time now for footy tips.
Hello and welcome to round 12 of SGL football. This round starts with West taking on Port at Port Augusta Central Oval on Saturday. I'm tipping Port. Imperial on Saturday is top versus second, with Solly's hosting South in the match of the round. I'm tipping South. On Sunday, it's the Lions who travel to meet Central in Port Augusta. This is a huge match for Central, as a loss in this one shuts the door for finals for them. I'm tipping the Lions in a close one.
Just 6 matches to go in Whyalla football. First up on Saturday, Bennett Oval, West Whyalla versus Rapina. Both teams lost last week, but I think given that West have beaten Rapina quite comfortably so far this year, they'll have to be favourites. Match of the round Saturday at Memorial Oval, it's Roona Bay versus North Whyalla. Both teams very impressive wins last weekend. North knocked off top team West for the second time this year. It's their home ground, so Magpies to win. And finally on Sunday at Bennett Oval, it's Central Whyalla versus South Whyalla. South going along very nicely. They're going to play finals. Great win last week, and they should be way too strong for the Roosters.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips and round 10. After 2 weeks off, all the teams will be firing to come back. We kick things off with match of the round and Waybacks versus Mallee Park. Mallee Park had a fantastic win against Marble Range a couple of weeks ago, and they're going to come out firing. In saying this, Waybacks are still looking strong. I'm going to tip Waybacks to win this one in a close one. In the next game, we've got Boston's hosting Marble Range at Poole Oval. Marble Range to win this one comfortably. In the last game, we've got Tasman's hosting Lincoln South. Tasman's will look the goods all year, and with so much firepower up forward, they're not going to drop this one. Tasman's are going to win this one by more than 8 goals.
Round 11 of Broken Hill football this week sees Central take on South. Central will be up and about after their win against West last week, but I think South will be far too strong in this. It'll be 80 plus. Second game is West taking on North. West need to stay in the hunt with only 4 rounds to go to finish the minor premiership. I think they'll be chasing their tail a little bit against North. North's Old Timers weekend, they'll certainly be up and about and excited with a few of their old timers sitting on the sidelines. North will be far too strong in this game. It'll be 20 to 30 points.
And here's what's in store for Whyalla Soccer this weekend.
Welcome to round 13 of Whyalla Soccer. This week sees Steel take on Wanderers at McGill Park. I think the experience of Steel will get over the line there. Steel to win. Sunday sees Croatia travel to Ducklander Park to take on Westlands. My tip there, I think, will be Croatia. Obviously, Croatia need to keep on the pressure to keep in touch with Lions for the league. Lions, obviously, this week have got the bye.
Showers lingering in some parts of the region today. Port Lincoln and Port Pirie sitting at 14 degrees. A fine day for Port Augusta, 15 the top there. On the satellite and heavy rain over southern parts, however, skies are clearing in the northern and central areas under high pressure. If you're out on the waters tomorrow, northerly winds will shift northwesterly up to 20 knots, with seas reaching 2.5 metres. For those early birds, sunrise is at 20 past 7, while it will set at 5:31. It'll be a mostly sunny start to the weekend, with temperatures climbing slightly, 18 the top for Port Augusta, 17 in Whyalla and Port Lincoln. Despite a fine Saturday, wet and windy weather will return to Port Lincoln going into next week. Cleve may also see some showers early before it finds up on Tuesday to 18, similar conditions in Woodner. Possible showers in Whyalla on Monday before a mostly sunny 20 degrees for Tuesday. Port Augusta may also see some wet weather early in the week before the sun returns. Maximums of 17 for Kadina. A fine weekend in Port Pirie and 19 leading to Monday and Tuesday, 15 in Clare on Tuesday, and in Broken Hill, fine conditions and temperatures reaching 19 degrees. So Abby, a few sunny days coming up, but we could still see some showers.
Hopefully we do. Thanks, Amy. And that's the local news this Friday. Have a great weekend. Good night.